The bench press is the bane to my existence. It is the most difficult lift to make progress on. For me it has anyway. I'll talk more about that, but here's some mobility drills that I got from a Mark Bell video, kind of a random video I just saw, and I saw it a few weeks, maybe about a week ago, and I figured I'd just give it a try and post it here. And what I'm doing is I'm working on my internal rotation and improving the ability to get my elbows behind my body while my shoulder stays in a good position. Essentially working my rotator cuff, your shoulder stabilizers, and it seems to be relatively effective. I don't know. Sometimes some things work great, some things don't, and I just play around with what I think is basically most convenient. Sometimes some positions are really hard to get into, like shortening this range of motion. That's kind of the most important thing when it comes to powerlifting. Trying to get the most leverage out of the lift. But anyways, I kind of wanted to talk about different viewpoints on kind of how to progress the bench. And I'll tell you right now, the bench press, like I said, the bane of my existence, has been a shitty lift for me because it's so hard to make progress on. It's the most body weight driven exercise when it comes to the big three. It's also the one that just seems to be the most understood. Everyone knows what a bench press is. Sure, people know what a squat and a deadlift is, but you know, when you talk to a layman who's not into powerlifting, it's really about how much you bench. So, how much do you bench? Anyways, I keep thinking about what I can do to get better, and just recently, maybe the last 2 months maybe, I've been really making this serious focus of the bench press, really just kind of obsessing, watching more bench press videos on YouTube, seeing what a 200-pound person can lift in competition, and just kind of paying attention more to setup, just lots of different variations and different things. But I'll tell you right now that what I'm finding is that I don't know my bench press very well. Not nearly like my deadlift. Like, I know what my limits are on the deadlift, because my proficiency is very high. The bench press is a whole different beast because a misgrew. Well, number one, there's this fear factor, right? The fear of basically having it get pinned underneath the barbell. So kind of working up to a heavy single is kind of scary. So kind of what I decided to do, just to play things by ear and also just get more practice in, was do a lot of single repetitions. And this might be a really good workout for you to try. What it is you start at a weight that seems fairly challenging. This is 225, and you do a single rep, and you add an additional 5 pounds, basically 2.5 pound plates on each side, and you keep going up. The amount of rest you get between repetitions is as much amount of time it takes to basically change the plates. And the thing I like about it the most, which I just kind of randomly made up kind of on the fly here, was I get to practice setting up roughly a dozen times or more. And you'll see me work up to about a 295 single, and they all look pretty easy on camera here, but I'll tell you right now, the fear factor definitely does go up each time. I do get a spotter for my later sets, but you can see as I kind of just set up, as I get closer to like over 80% or near 90% of my 1 rep max, I do start to take a little bit longer break. This does take a little bit longer than I thought it would. I thought I'd be able to finish fast, but the main thing really, like I said before, was really just trying to get a lot of work done in a short period of time, because I think a lot of the time, if you can bench press for 3 hours, 2 hours, meaning that you're resting a ton and you're taking your time, that would be great. But the truth is, a lot of people don't have this time to bench press. I'm already well, they don't have that much time to exercise. I barely have that much time as it is, so I'm trying to essentially cram as much as I can within the time I have, make it reasonable so that I can basically do the rest of my life, work on my job, work on making videos on YouTube, work on other things that you know, like my kids and stuff. So anyways, I wanted to share this workout because I thought it was kind of a different spin on things. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that's tried something similar to this. As you can see, I don't really follow any particular program, but I'm really big technique guy, so I kind of really just think about finding little nuggets in other people's methods so that way I can get better. And I'll tell you right now, you know, some of you guys who watch my video, you might find one little thing that really does make a breakthrough in your training. Maybe it's something that you knew, but maybe you're not putting focus on. And every time I train, the reason why I don't like following programs so much, or what I've noticed at least anyway, is that the more I kind of mess around or don't follow any sort of strict program, I get these little technique breakthroughs because I'm taking my time on every lift. I'm thinking about my hand position. I'm thinking about basically everything, and it's pretty interesting, I have to say. I like to relate training to money, or powerlifting to money. It's almost like there are few people there's a lot of people that can deadlift 400 pounds. There's even less people that can deadlift 500 pounds. And as you go up 600 pounds, there's less people. 700 pounds, there's less people. And the amount of people that can lift more weight, kind of near almost the end of human potential, at least for right now, it's kind of like money. Like, you know, people at the bottom making $5 an hour, whatever, $10 an hour, $9 an hour, and then you got people making thousands, millions of dollars an hour, or whatever you want to call it. And people who are very, very wealthy. And it's kind of the same idea, like how did they get to that $1 billion? And powerlifting, strength training is very much the same way. You're just building yourself up to essentially get to that $1 billion, that wealthy status. And that's kind of what powerlifting is. And you got to think about that for a second, you know, because as I've been going through this journey, I keep thinking to myself, how many people have deadlifted 700 or 800 pounds? Someone who's deadlifted 800 pounds, what do they know? What have they gone through? What issues have they come across in their training? How did they get there? Same idea with making money. What issues do they have in their business? How did they lose their money at one point? It's kind of like losing all your strength, right? How did you build it back up? How did you get through injuries? How did you get through loss? You know, a lot of people who are wealthy that have money have multiple businesses, and it's the same idea here. You know, people who are very strong have gone through ebbs and flows of being weak and being hurt, and they go ups and downs. It's never just a straight line all the way to the top. And, you know, I kind of think about that. You know, it's kind of like, that's kind of why I love powerlifting so much, is that you're essentially getting to the point of the ends of human potential or limits. And of course, with powerlifting and strength training, physics are something you can't deny. So what I mean by that is that body weight is a big factor. So a 1,000-pound squat without without equipment for someone who's under 200 pounds is not feasible. So anyways, or it's very unrealistic, at least in this this evolutionary process. But here, I'm hearing this, my PR, actually I have a PR of 225 for 11 repetitions. That's actually brand new for me, which I'm actually quite proud of. This video is actually coming up after the bench press practice I did for that body weight reps for body weight. And, you know, anything that can get me to do some sort of low pressure contest, but gives a little pressure, kind of helps motivate me. And I've been really focusing more on just increasing my volume. But I always still want to touch heavy weight. And what I mean by that is touching 80% or more, 90% or more. In this case, I worked myself up to about 95% of my 1 repetition max, which is 295. So it's feeling pretty good. Kind of all over the place with this video. Hope you got some good information from it. If you have any ideas, you'd like to share some thoughts with me, this video has actually gone a little longer than I expected, but this is really a training journal of my bench workout. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.